Some information regarding the DLC might have just dropped, and in it covers the abilities and movesets of the Loyal 3, touches on Ogerpon, and goes over the TMs returning in the DLC and what Pokemon can learn them. Right, boys, so quickly, before jumping into these, potential leaks here, I just want to quickly say this has not been confirmed, but I have seen people like Pokemon and whatnot touch on it, so there is a bit of credibility behind them. I believe also, Roy, the guy who I guess, made the spreadsheet you can see in front of you, which a lot of the, the main leakers really contribute to this, so, I'll leave this down below as well if you guys want to see, I guess, leaks that are, kind of official, but yeah, check that out. But yeah, guys, we're about to touch on, some potential leaks, so if you don't want to, be spoiled or anything like that, yeah, you have been warned, so keep that in mind. But the first thing I want to look at here is a write-up, basically review of the DLC. Now, look, I'm not going to go too much into this just because I feel like there's a lot of stuff to look at here, and I really don't want to just read through the whole thing right now. But we're mainly going to touch on the stuff here that really affects VGC, and, me in particular. So, first things first to have a look at here is, I believe they touch on it somewhere, but basically, is it further down? It's in regards to Ogerpon. That's kind of the first thing I want to touch on here. Okay, no. All right, so in this, it does say that Ogerpon is listed as a restricted legendary Pokemon, as you see here, meaning it will not be legal in Regulation E. So if this is true, obviously no Ogerpon for at least Regulation E, which is kind of sad. It also does touch on some of the new Pokemon returning. Basically, I believe, is it this one here for Sinistea? Yeah, so it's saying that Sinistea gets back 75% of the health it deals with its signature move. It's a 65 base power attack, 30% chance to burn, and its ability heals allies for 33%, which is pretty freaking big. I really think, if this is 33%, the ability to switch in next to, say, for example, just a Hisuian and Goodra could be, really, really strong, right? You pair, lefties plus this ability, and then you just start cycling this alongside Intimidate and stuff like that. I think that could be a really, really good ability, so that is really interesting. We do see here Diplin's signature move is apparently only 60 base power with 75 accuracy, which is okay because its ability obviously lowers their evasion stats, so that does make up for it. It also does say here that we can, get some of the Hisuian ones, which is pretty cool. Being able to catch them in game is pretty important, and it touches on some of the other ones that have already been revealed. It also mentions here briefly some of the teams that are returning. We'll touch on that shortly. There is a different pace that we'll look at for it. But basically, we're getting back into the VGC stuff here. So as we said, Ogerpon will not be available according to this in Regulation E. Okidoki fills a similar role to previous Pokemon like Incineroar, Rillaboom, and Iron Hands, basically saying it's a fake out mode, right? Fake out support with a bit of offense, I should say. So it says its ability is Toxic Chains, and its hidden ability is going to be Scrappy, which does kind of contradict some of the other stuff we've looked at in the past. So I'm really curious now to see this one not linking up with the previous leaks we've looked at. Basically, one of them has to be wrong, right? So is it this one or is it the last one? I personally hope the other one is real and not this one, because I don't think Scrappy is as good as our Guts could be. But yeah, nonetheless, it says it has moves like Fake Out, Knock Off, Party Shot, and Taunt. So it could be, a pretty good offensive mon with, a lot of utility. It has some stab moves like CC, Drain Punch, Gunk Shot, P-Jab, all that stuff. It gets things like Breaking Swipe, Snarl as well. Apparently, it's very bulky and strong and has a decent speed tier to outspeed Regieleki in Tailwind, which, I mean, to outspeed Regieleki in Tailwind, what, you gotta hit 139, I think, technically? So yeah, I mean, that could be a similar speed tier to Landorus, right, if you're running Adamant. So that's, that's pretty decent. It says Munkidori is a fast and bulky psychic poison type Pokemon. Similar to Screamtail, it gets a wide supportive move with moves like Encore, Slack Off, Snarl, Taunt, T-Wave, and more. It has the ability Toxic Chain, but it gets Prankster as a hidden ability. Now, that to me is for me, it's kind of sad, right? Because, well, don't get me wrong, Prankster is a really good ability. But if this one doesn't have Tailwind, I kind of wonder what kind of role it's going to play, right? Here it says, it gets decent stab moves like Sludge Bomb and Psychic, which is pretty obvious. Apparently it gets Expanding Force. So it does say it's fast and bulky. So I don't know, maybe there's a world where it's a good Expanding Force user. But it gets Pollen Puff, Trigger, and many other TMs. So to me, look, I don't love the idea of Prankster, but that also might be because in the last leaks we looked at, it did say it was going to get Shadow Tag, and Shadow Tag would be absolutely busted. And Prankster's still good, don't get me wrong, Prankster Taunt, Prankster Encore, stuff like that it's always good, yeah. But I feel like, especially right now with mods like Chiyu and whatnot, which, Chiyu's already going to be pretty good into this, and I feel like, yeah, it's going to be a bit harder to play than I was kind of hoping for. But then it says, lastly, Pheasantipity, very similar to other special attackers. The Fairy Poison type Pokemon is fast, strong, but similar bulk to other fairies. I think I kind of read ahead there. But yeah, it's saying its bulk is going to be similar to Fluttermane and Enamorus, which means basically 80s probably across the board roughly. Apparently it does get Serene Grace, which the other leak we looked at actually did say it gets Serene Grace, which is pretty cool. Apparently it gets moves like Roost, it gets powerful moves like Roost and Tailwind. Wouldn't necessarily say they're powerful moves, but I mean, they're not bad. But then also gets powerful stabs like Dazzling Gleam, Moonblast, and Sludge Bomb. Moonblast can be pretty cool because obviously Moonblast, I think then would make that like, is it a 60% chance to lower special attack with Serene Grace, which is pretty cool. Serene Grace Heat Wave is always cool. Serene Grace Hurricane as well on a rain team is like really nice. I think it's like a 60% chance to confuse, which could be pretty freaking cool. It goes on to say here that Toxic Chain is 25% chance at, badly poisoning, which is kind of cool. It does say here they have signature abilities, but also have hidden abilities, which, we're kind of hoping for, which has also been done before with the Tapus. Obviously, the Tapus all just use terrain, though, so that's much of a muchness. And then finally for this, it kind of does touch on the Blood Moon Ursaluna, basically saying it's more like a legendary Pokemon, which I believe we kind of, thought about. Like, I haven't seen people kind of touch on that, right? It says its stats are boosted, similar to Roaring Moons, Walking Wakes, Iron Valiant, Iron Leaves, basically meaning, I think that would put it to 590, and I'm pretty sure current Ursaluna's 550. So I think it's kind of saying like it'll get an extra 40 points, right? It says it loses the normal typing and gains the steel typing, which is kind of not great, but they're claiming it's Bullet Punch. So if this Mon gets, a really high attack stat with Bullet Punch, kind of crazy. Apparently gets Slack Off, Snarl. I don't think it would use that. Steamroller, and yeah, that's whatever. Sucker Punch is another interesting priority as well. Again, if this one hits hard, that could be really sick. And its signature move, Blood Moon, is apparently a ghost type move with 150 base power and 95% accuracy. It is caught during the Legendary Beast storyline. That's whatever. We're not here to touch on the story, really. And what's this? Boosting, we want Terror Ghost boost. Okay, the Terror Ghost gets rid of its weakness to fighting, is what it's going to say. Its new ability, abilities, Mind, Eyes, and Defiant. This one with Defiant, I think, could be really sick. I think there's a lot you could do with that. But yeah, and it says Mind's Eye is basically Keen Eye plus Scrappy without the attack boosting, which, the attack immunity, to Intimidate, which I do think Intimidate's pretty damn important. But yeah, basically everything else is kind of like story stuff or like, touching on TMs, which is what we're going to touch on here. So as we can see here, now I believe most of this does line up with information that had already been data mined from home. I could be, like, I might not be right, but I'm pretty sure I had heard that Scald was going to be like TM 179 ages ago. So I don't know, like potentially they've just copied that off that, copied this off that. But yeah, so basically we see Toxic's coming back. It doesn't really affect VGC, I don't think, unless like Wo-Chen gets it. And even then, it's still probably not going to be good. Great for singles though, I guess. Knockoff is pretty good. Slack Off as a TM is really interesting. Roost coming back as well is pretty cool. Head Smash is like really interesting because this is like a really powerful attack, and it looks like a lot of mons are apparently getting it. So that could be really interesting. Wonder Room, Magic Room, it's whatever. Scald could definitely be one of the biggest, the biggest comebacks of, it could be the best move coming back is what I'm trying to say. That's really, really interesting. Sticky Web, not really huge for VGC, but again, great for singles. High Horsepower is a really good move. Obviously, I think it's what, 95. So 95 power, 95 accuracy ground type move. A lot better than Stomping Tantrum for a lot of those ground types that don't want Earthquake. Breaking Swipe and Spirit Break, two really good, like supportive offensive attacks there. Expanding Force, I'm sure that's what everyone's scared of, because it looks like it might just be more than Armor Rouge getting it now. So that's kind of scary. Steel Rollers, whatever. Scale Shots, kind of whatever. Meteor Beam's really interesting. I believe in it they say there's a trailer coming out for the Nintendo Direct next week where they show off, I think it was Glamora using it. So yeah, kind of a spoiler there, sorry. Misty Explosion's apparently coming back. Grassy Glide, which we kind of knew. Obviously, again, we'll basically get to see if Rillaboom's apparently getting it. Rising Voltage, pretty interesting. Terrain Pulses, whatever. Skittersmacks, whatever. Burning Jealousy's kind of cool. Lash Out. Poltergeist coming back is actually massive as well. Really good ghost type stab move. Corrosive Gas, Coaching, whatever. Flip Turn maybe could be good, but I think like everything that wants Flip Turn already has it. Triple Axle as well is actually kind of big. A lot of ice types really like that. It could be really big too, actually, if Chen Pao gets Triple Axle, because then like Chen Pao doesn't care about sashes, which would be like really good for sniping Flutter Mains. Dual Wing Beak and Scorching Sands, both pretty decent moves, yeah, in their own right. But now we have an entire list here, basically. As you can see, I kind of had a quick glance through it all before. But apparently we have a list of every move that every returning Pokemon's getting. Because this is like 100 plus Pokemon here, I'm just going to touch on what I think is important. Just to save ourselves some time, because I'm sure I could sit here for half an hour and read that. And I don't want that, nor do I think you guys want that. But Scorching Sands for Zard, that could be kind of interesting. Triple Axle on Sand Slash could be really nice on the snow teams I was kind of touching on the other day. Because I do think like a Alolan Sand Slash in snow might be okay. Clef getting Slack Off is interesting. Anything here? Scold apparently on Gold Dark. Expanding Force plus Scold on the Slowbro line could be really interesting. Actually, I think that could be like really good, right? Yeah, like Expanding Force is broken. That one's like really slow in the Trick Room, so that could actually be half decent. Anything good here? The Birds getting Roost is kind of cool. Birding Jealousy for the Articuno there is also kind of interesting. Birding Jealousy as well for Galarian Moltres. Nothing too crazy here. Expanding Force for Mewtwo. I mean, it doesn't really affect us right now. Mew obviously gets like every returning TM. Typhlosion getting Sands on both forms is kind of whatever. Nothing super interesting just yet. Maybe like Misty Explosion Azu could do something. Maybe. Skull coming for Slowking, we kind of knew that. Sneasel getting Throat Chop and Triple Axle. I wonder if that means it doesn't get Knockoff, because I mean maybe Weavile gets it, but Knockoff is like really important on this one in singles. Because like a lot of ones like to run like heavy duty boots and it kind of like knocks it off. Slack Off plus High Horsepower for Mamo. Having high horsepower is good as well, I think. Head Smash for T-Tar. Now that's interesting. Really powerful move there. Gets Breaking Swipes as well. So like maybe T-Tar could like come back with like AV and just be like a great support. My guy Ludi getting Scald. You love to see that. Grassy Glide for Shrift Trees. Kind of whatever. Scald for Pelly is like, yeah, good I guess. Oh wait. Did I not see Politoed with Scald? Politoed better get Scald if this guy gets Scald. Or maybe... I don't know. Well, I guess we'll figure that out soon. Okay, transfer from Sword and Shield to PLA if you want Expanding Force on Curlier. That's interesting. I wonder why you'd have to send that through to PLA there. Expanding Force Guardia, though, is still pretty cool. Poltergeist on the Dusclops line is good for its Funnel Evolution. Head Smash, Scale Shot, and Breaking Swipes, all for Salamence. All pretty decent there. That's pretty cool. Kyogre getting Scald's nice. Heat Crash and Head Smash for Groudon as well. Again, maybe that could be like really good. We're still a bit away from a restricted format if I had to guess. So I guess we'll find that out in the near future. Torterra getting Grassy Glide, High Horsepower, and Head Smash could also be kind of poggers. Ooh, Infernape getting Aura Sphere. I don't know if it had that in the past, but that could actually be like pretty good for a special build. Go like, you know, instead of having to run Focus Blast, you go like Aura Sphere, like Heat Wave, and what? Overheat Protect, maybe Fake Out as well. Something like that could be cool. Empoleon getting Flip Turn is actually kind of interesting because it is like a potential Defiant one, so maybe attack could be good. Roost for Staraptor. Unfortunately, I think it's like not best played clicking Roost. I guess though it could be nice with like Reckless, right? And you know all the moves it wants to spam. Politoed getting Flip Turns kind of cool. Gastro getting Skullback's really good. It just like gives it like a, you know, I mean, maybe you still want to run. I don't know if you want Muddy Water over it actually. Defog, that's a singles thing. We don't care about that. Scale Shot, Breaking Swipe, and Head Smash for my guy Garchomp. Scale Shot, like, I wonder if like Scale Shot plus Loaded Dice is actually good. That's interesting. Like maybe you could run like SD Scale Shot and then like do something. Coaching for Riolu is like really cool. Blaze Kick. We didn't see Blaze Kick on this list, did we? Oh wait, apparently this is the Pokemon Home Relearner. Okay. So apparently they get these moves from home. I misread that, I guess, when I saw the tweet. Head Smash, yeah, that's whatever. Okay, so Weavile does get Knockoff and Triple Axle. That's pretty good, I guess. Hurricane, Roost, Sticky Web, Yanmega, that's big buff for singles. Gliscor, that's, I mean, give Gliscor more, man. Yeah, Poltergeist Ally Switch. Oh, Ally Switch on this is going to be cool for VGC. Obviously, I think Dusclops will be the one who uses it, but still nice to see there. Physical Frostlass getting buffs. Ally Switch on Cresselia. I mean, he already had that, right? But I don't know why they've added that there. Oh, maybe it just means it doesn't have to relearn it coming in, is my guess, actually. Because, like, if it had it... I'm assuming if it had it in a previous game, it can just keep it coming forward rather than, like, being forced to relearn it. So that's nice. High Horsepower Knockoff for Conk is nice. Scale Shot for Crook is also kind of cool. Expanding Force Goth, Toxic Shroom. I don't think that's really using Shroom. Man, give me some of the good stuff here. Ooh, Mandibuzz with Knockoff is nice, actually. Pity Hydreigon's a special attacker. Scorching Sand's actually good coverage for Volk as well. I don't think we'll see it use that in in VGC though. Like you're probably still running like at least one stab, potentially Terra Grass, with like Protect and Quiver Dance or like Rage Powder, Heat Wave. So yeah, probably not going to see a set like that from Volk. The Genies only getting knockoff is actually like really cool because I feel like if they got too much, they would be a massive pain in the ass. Grassy Glide Head Smash on Chestnut, maybe. Head Smash is like kind of everywhere. Delphox getting some really nice moves there, but Jealousy Expanding Force. Don't see them on really doing much. Flip Turn Greninja is kind of cool. I think he would have loved that back in the day. I mean, dude, a lot of these monsters aren't like really competitively relevant, are they? Gucci getting swipes is alright. Hisui and Gucci getting swipes actually is potentially cool on like a physical set. Kind of use it to like lower their attack stat and then they can't crit you, so you heal back up. That actually could be kind of poggers with Shell Armor. Poltergeist plus Grassy Glide on Trevenant. Poltergeist is really good if you're running this on Trick Room actually. I do think that could like have a big role on it. We finally getting to some good mons. I mean, Diancie gets Meteor Beam, that's whatever. Yes, my guy, Vikavolt getting Roost. Not gonna really use that, I don't think sadly. Head Smash for the Lycanrocs is cool. Knockoff Scald for Toxapex, kind of sad actually. I feel bad for the VGC players getting Scald burned by this thing. I mean, Serena getting triple Axel knockoff Grassy Glide is like pretty good, right? It helps it out into Rillaboom a lot. Scale Shot on the Como-O with Scald? Scald knockoff Como-O, okay, interesting. Now this is actually really interesting here, this part as well. Apparently the Tapus are coming back. I have actually read something about that as well, about the Tapus. Yeah, apparently they're coming back. So that could make things very interesting in the upcoming meta. Confirming Glide getting high horsepower as well. Like high horsepower is just better than Stomping Tantrum, let's be honest. I mean, is there anything else like too crazy? Oh, Expanding Force Hat actually is like really good. Basically just like invalidates Armor Rouge though, which is kind of sad. I mean, all of them getting that. Rising Voltage Pincurchin, that's kind of cool. Head Smash Copper Raja. And boys, finally at the one I wanted to talk about. So, Dragapult gets Scald and Breaking Hearts, that's whatever. Apparently it gets Poltergeist. Right? Apparently, Dragapult gets Poltergeist. That actually could be, like, that's huge for the meta, right? So, like, before people were running, like, Terra Blast Ghost Jet, but now you can run, like, just a defensive Terra and just smack them with a Poltergeist. Like, that could, like, dude, Fluttermanes are just getting one-tapped by this. This is actually potentially enormous. Not only for singles, but for doubles, for like Dragapult. Like having just a 110 base power fucking stab move. Insane, dude, insane. These guys, they're not really VGC relevant. I mean, Rising Voltage is whatever. It's kind of cool, actually, I shouldn't say it's whatever. If Coco is back, I think Voltage Eleki could be good. High horsepower is good for the Glacier, obviously. Expanding Force Calyrex Shadow, please, no. Transfer to BDS, from BDSB to PLA before evolving if you want Roost on Cleaver, okay. So that's kind of cool. High horsepower is whatever. Flip Turn plus Poltergeist actually on Basculegion. So, personally, an issue I have with Basculegion, and why I think this could actually be pretty good, is Basculegion doesn't want to come on lead because, like, it can't click Last Respects, right? Like, you don't want to click Last Respects with, like, your 50 base power. So I think having Poltergeist is actually, like, potentially really good for it. Also, the female version getting Scald is actually also potentially really cool. So yeah, I could see Flip Turn and Poltergeist both making their way onto a Basculegion set. Spirit Break, dude, Spirit Break on this actually for the physical set, that's kind of poggers if that's true, because that's like pretty damn good. Grassy Glide, unfortunately, why run this when you have Flower Trick? Triple Axle plus Flip Turn for my guy Quackleval, that's cool. Give him Jet Punch though, I think he needs Jet Punch. He wants to be good. I don't really think they affect Garg at all. Poltergeist Ceruledge actually that's really good, because this mod, like, it doesn't want to run Shadow Claw, right? Like, Shadow Claw is like, what, 70 base power? Like, sure, it can crit, but you may as well just run, like, Protect, SD, Sneak, and, like, Bitter Blade. Is it Bitter Blade? I think Bitter Blade, right? That's its signature move. So, yeah, that's also kind of cool. That could definitely, like, find its way onto a set. Expanding Force of Sparthra, that thing's never getting unbanned in singles. Maybe there's a world where this thing in VGC is actually good. Especially, I mean, you probably have to go Speed Boost, though, right? Because I was going to say, like, it doesn't have the ability to... No, I think I'm confusing it with the with Co-Star. Don't worry, I was gonna say I think it can steal stats. I don't think it actually can. Spirit Break for Tinkaton's actually pretty good as well. Because it's like not forced to run Play Rough, and also it's just like a better support move, right? Like it's a guaranteed hit that always lowers the attack. Grassy Glide and Poltergeist both on Bramblegeist is actually like really big buff for it. Houndsdog, similar to what we were saying before about Basculegion, like having just like a good Ghost Stab. Veluza, I'm sorry, you're a bad mon. Meteor Beam Glamora could be really interesting because this one hits really hard. So getting that like potential +1 is like huge. Scold Dozo, boys, is going to be the special Dozo sitting there with Scold just spamming you, trying to like just survive. Poltergeist Annihilate is cool, but I think Rage Fist is just better. Yeah, I don't think you'd ever want Poltergeist on this. Especially like it's just way more consistent. It's like it's got the best Ghost Stab already. You don't need Poltergeist as well. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. That's probably like a bad thing for singles, right? Getting Scold back. Expanding Force Giraffe. I think like Giraffe is actually gonna like play a big role in the upcoming formats. Because again, like the bigger the power creep gets, I think Giraffe is just like gonna be just a great check to a lot of these mons that want to like potentially run things like Sucker Punch and whatnot. So having like a decent Expanding Force user is gonna be like pretty decent, I think. It hits like really freaking hard as is, and it's also really bulky. And its speed tier is nice. It can play Trick Room or it can play Tailwind, so that's definitely nice. Knockoff and Lash Out for Gambit are both interesting. I think Assurance is just better than Lash Out, but Knockoff could definitely be like decent, at least for singles, right? I'm not sure how good it's gonna be for doubles. Scale Shot High Horsepower, I don't think they really affect backs. He probably doesn't want to run them. Maybe he puts High Horsepower in like the EQ slot. But I guess that is soon to be seen. Potentially, I mean, Burning Jealousy on Fluttermane to me is like whatever. I'm just glad they didn't give it Expanding Force. Like that was like the one thing I was like, do not give this thing Expanding Force. If Fluttermane got Expanding Force, it was going to be GG. Burning Jealousy for the Moth as well. Lash Out for Qian Pao. No Triple Axle actually is kind of important there. Lash Out Head Smash for Ting Lu. Lash Out could actually be pretty decent on Ting Lu. Burning Jealousy for Chi is whatever. Triple Axle on Iron Valiant could actually be good. That actually could be good for like just getting rid of Fluttermane. I'd have to see the damage calc, but like maybe a speed booster Valiant could one-shot that. And then Scale Shot for Crydon and Miraidon getting Rising Voltage. Yeah, look, I mean, we kind of just like went over everything there. I feel like that wasn't like super informative, but I mean, look, I feel like if someone went through all the effort of doing all of this, it has to be real, right? I guess like real quick, we'll kind of touch on like my main takeaways. So apparently the Tapus could potentially be coming back. I believe it's actually mentioned somewhere in here. I'd have to like reread it, but I feel like I did see something about that, which is, yeah, definitely really interesting. Obviously, like in terms of new moves, Scold coming back is huge, but I didn't see Politoed here, so like I pray if Scold is back, Toad gets it. I don't see why it wouldn't though. Polt getting Poltergeist is actually enormous. Like I actually think this could give it a really good spot in the meta if that's true. Because again, I feel like you could just run that similar core of like Qian Pao, Polt plus Giraffe, and it's like you've used the Giraffe to basically protect Polt from what's it called, from like Sucker Punches, and then like it just goes crazy. What else was like really big, I guess? I mean, that's kind of like all the main stuff, right? At least stuff I can think of off the top of my head. Basically, it's just a lot of stuff we kind of probably expected. But yeah, I guess, look, guys, that's probably going to be it for this one. Kind of just went over everything. I feel like it was just me reading stuff the whole time. So like, I don't know. It felt a little, I don't want to say it was boring, but I don't know if it was like a good watch. I guess you guys can let me know down below what you think of all the, you know, new moves that are potentially coming back. Like, again, because I saw PokeAim covering this, I personally think it might be real, or like he might know something that we don't. But again, until next week hits, it's going to be, yeah, who knows? New Blood Moon Ursaluna looks cool. The Okie Dokie and whatnot, they all look cool. But yeah, let me know down below what you guys think, and yeah, catch you in the next one. Peace.